All right, so we're talking real estate today.
Okay.
Specifically, this whole thing with real estate commissions changing.
Right.
We're really diving into how this recent settlement could totally change the game for anyone looking to buy or sell a home.
Yeah.
You sent over this video from Kevin.
Yeah.
He's a real estate broker and investor, right?
Yeah. He really breaks it down.
Yeah.
Explains it in a way that you can actually understand.
Yeah, and he didn't sugarcoat it,
No,
especially for first-time home buyers.
absolutely not.
So before we get into it, can you remind me how these commissions traditionally worked?
Okay, so traditionally you're selling your home.
Mhm.
You'd pay a commission.
Right.
That commission was split between your listing agent, the one helping you sell,
Okay.
and the buyer's agent who brings the buyer to the table.
Gotcha. So both agents get a cut from the sale.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Because the seller was paying both commissions. The listing agent actually had an incentive to make sure the buyer's agent also got a decent fee.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
Because happy buyer's agents mean more buyers.
Oh, that's smart.
More buyers looking at properties, more potential for a deal.
Yeah, that keeps the market moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's incentivized
Yeah.
to make a deal happen.
Everybody wins.
Right, but this new settlement,
Okay.
it throws a wrench in all of that
Really? How so?
by saying that sellers don't have to offer a buyer agent commission.
I see.
Sounds good for the seller on the surface, right?
Yeah, less money out of their pocket.
Right, but it really shifts that power dynamic significantly.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because now the buyer's agent needs to get paid by the buyer.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Huge difference,
Yeah, and this is where I start to see things unraveling a little bit, especially for buyers.
especially for buyers.
So who are the winners and losers in this new world order?
Well, obviously listing agents,
Okay.
they come out on top.
Right.
Because now they can say to a seller, hey, I can list your house for less.
Lower fees, yeah.
Lower fees.
Makes them more competitive.
And way more competitive. And for the seller, I mean,
Yeah.
why would you pay more if you can get your house listed for less?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer from the seller's perspective.
Exactly.
But someone has to make up that difference, right?
And it's not just listing agents coming out ahead either.
Oh, okay.
Savvy investors are also in a really good position now.
How so?
Well, especially those that have real estate licenses.
I see.
They can kind of navigate this process themselves and save a lot of money.
Yeah, because they have the expertise.
Exactly. And they're buying and flipping multiple properties a year.
Oh, yeah. So those savings really add up.
Quickly.
Yeah, so they essentially cut out the middleman and just pocket that difference.
Exact.
But what about the folks who don't have that expertise?
Yeah.
Like the average person who's just trying to buy their first home.
That's where the losers, unfortunately, come in.
Because now they're on the hook for those buyer agent fees.
Right. And that's thousands of dollars, potentially.
Right, thousands, yeah. And when you're already stretching to make a down payment, that's got to hurt.
It's a huge burden.
It's not just about the money, though, right?
No.
I imagine it's also kind of intimidating to navigate this whole process without an expert in your corner.
Absolutely. Think about it. You're not just picking out a house with a nice kitchen anymore.
Right.
You've got inspections, appraisals, offers, counteroffers, potential legal hiccups.
It's a lot to handle.
A lot to handle, especially for the first time.
So let's talk about that a bit more.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a first-time home buyer and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by all this.
Yeah?
What are my options? Do I even need a buyer's agent in this brave new world of real estate? That's a good question.
Right.
Because on the one hand, you could save a lot of money by going it alone,
Yeah,
but then there's also the peace of mind that a buyer's agent brings.
Yeah.
It's like decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions.
It really is a balancing act now.
Yeah.
And I think the truth is there's no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
It boils down to your individual situation, how much risk you're willing to take on.
Your comfort level.
Yeah. How comfortable are you with all this stuff?
So let's say I'm feeling adventurous
Okay.
and I want to explore that DIY route.
I like it.
What are the real benefits besides just saving some cash?
Well, like you said, you're in the driver's seat.
Okay.
You can call the shots. You set your own pace.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who enjoys research and negotiation and all that,
Yeah.
it can be really empowering.
Okay.
Plus, you get to keep all that money.
All those sweet savings.
Exactly.
Yeah, I bet that's tempting in this market.
It is, but
But it can't all be sunshine and roses.
it's not for the faint of heart.
What are some of the downsides that I need to be prepared for?
Well, for starters, it's a huge time commitment.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking hours of research, property visits, phone calls, emails.
Oh, yeah.
It can easily become a part-time job.
I imagine you need to have a certain level of expertise to even know where to begin.
Absolutely. You're not just like browsing listings anymore.
Right.
You really need to understand market values, know what to look for during inspections,
Yeah.
understand these contracts.
Negotiate.
Yes, negotiations. That's
Oh,
huge.
yeah. I bet that's easy to mess up.
So easy to get steamrolled if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, it's a lot more than just finding a house with a white picket fence these days.
It is. There's a lot more at stake.
Yeah, and that's where a good buyer's agent can really come in handy.
Totally. Because they bring that experience and knowledge to the table.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and they often know about properties
Okay.
before they even hit the market,
Oh, wow.
which is a huge advantage,
Huge in this market.
especially in this market. So they have access to that inside information,
Okay.
and they're skilled negotiators.
Okay.
They're looking out for your best interests.
Right, because you're going up against,
You're dealing with professionals on the other side.
yeah, listing agents.
Listing agents,
Right.
sellers,
Lawyers sometimes.
lawyers sometimes.
Yeah, you want someone in your corner who speaks the language.
Absolutely someone who can really advocate for you.
Yeah, it's like having a seasoned Sherpa guiding you up Mount Everest.
Exactly, instead of trying to do it yourself.
Yeah, instead of wandering around lost
They can help you navigate those treacherous paths.
and avoid those costly mistakes.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I decide to play it safe
Okay.
and go with the buyer's agent.
Right.
How do I even find a good one in this new landscape?
That's a great question, and it's more important than ever to be discerning.
Really?
Yeah, don't be afraid to be picky.
Okay.
You should start by tapping into your network.
Okay.
Ask your friends, family, colleagues,
Yeah.
anyone who's recently bought or sold a home.
So word of mouth, basically.
Word of mouth is huge, and online reviews can be helpful too.
Okay.
You're looking for agents with a proven track record in this new landscape. And don't just settle for the first agent you meet.
Right.
Interview a few.
Like you're hiring an employee.
Exactly. Ask them about their experience, how they handle negotiations, their communication style.
Do they respond to emails?
Exactly how they're adapting to this new commission structure.
Because that's so important.
Huge.
Yeah.
You want someone who understands your needs, who's invested in getting you the best outcome.
Someone you trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah, communication is key in any relationship.
It really is, especially when you're talking about such a huge financial decision.
100%. So don't be afraid to ask about fees up front,
Please do.
because now with the old commission structure out the window,
Right.
there's more room for negotiation.
A lot more flexibility now.
So you might be able to work out something.
Yeah, a flat fee, a lower percentage,
Okay.
maybe even some kind of hybrid model.
So it's all about finding what works for you and your budget.
Exactly. And remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
Right. It's a two-way street.
It's a partnership.
So if you had to boil it all down,
Yeah.
is this commission shakeup ultimately good or bad for the average home buyer?
You know that is the million-dollar question that everyone is asking right now.
bet.
And the answer is,
Is it complicated?
it's complicated.
I had a feeling you might say that. It is complicated. But it's definitely got this real estate revolution brewing.
Yeah.
What does it all mean for the future of buying and selling homes?
It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah.
Because this settlement really could change the industry.
Okay.
We might see some really big changes to how these real estate services are delivered.
Like, what are we talking? Flying cars showing houses?
Not quite flying cars yet,
Okay.
but I mean, think about it.
Okay.
What if instead of paying for like a full service agent, you could just pick and choose the services you needed?
Oh, interesting.
Like maybe you just need help with negotiations, or maybe you just need help understanding the contract.
So more of like an a la carte approach instead of the pre-fixed menu?
Exactly, give buyers way more flexibility
Ah.
and potentially make it more affordable.
Yeah, that would be huge for a lot of folks who can't afford that full agent.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that risk creating kind of a different barrier?
Potentially.
Like, what's stopping these consultants from pricing themselves out of reach for the people who need them most?
That's the thing. Transparency is going to be super important.
Yeah.
Fair pricing.
Yeah.
We need to make sure this is actually benefiting buyers,
Right.
not just creating like a different kind of obstacle.
Makes you wonder what role technology will play in all of this.
For sure.
It feels like there's an app for everything these days.
Everything. And real estate is no different.
Right.
I mean, we've already got virtual tours, digital closings,
Yeah.
algorithms that are analyzing these market trends. It's only a matter of time.
So what's next?
Yeah. Who knows? But I think if technology gets even more advanced,
Yeah,
we're going to see it streamline this whole process even more.
that makes sense.
And I think that could really empower both buyers and sellers.
So much to think about. So much to wrap your head around. If our listeners are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed but also intrigued by all this, what's like the one key takeaway they should hold on to?
I think the big takeaway here is that the real estate world is changing.
Okay.
And this commission settlement, it's really just the beginning.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you really got to stay informed.
Yeah.
Understand your options and never be afraid to advocate for yourself.
Ask those questions.
Ask the questions, do your research,
Yeah.
and really explore every avenue because knowledge is power in this kind of shifting landscape.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, if this deep dive has piqued your curiosity, don't forget to check out our show notes.
Please do.
We've got links to articles, resources, all sorts of good stuff to keep those curious minds satisfied. Thanks for diving deep with us.